very nice to be here. It's fantastic to be here in Odense in this amazing city hall. And we have today viola masterclass with Barbara Kammer. Very nice to meet you. We just met briefly yesterday, and now it's the second day here. Aeyoung on piano, fantastic to have you. It's really, really great. And what do you want to play?
I'm playing Concertstück by Enescu.
Enescu, yeah. Very nice. Please. Nice, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. Concertstück, it's called, this piece, yeah, by George Enescu. And apparently it's written as a concert piece. I mean, it's supposed to be showcasing sort of, it's like a mini viola concerto, actually. It's a short version. It's like it has to change. You get to hear all the beautiful registers of the low, the high registers, some fast parts, some effective parts, and yeah, the audience get to applauding them. So it sort of has everything what includes in a Concertstück. And you mentioned for me, you played this when you were younger. Yes, and now you bring it back. And as I understood, you sort of finished your official musical studies now. You finished your master's already, and you sort of now you're in your life, you actually started choosing what you want to play in your life, yeah, what you like to play. And it's very clearly that you do this piece, and you seem to love it a lot. That's really amazing. And also that, so what I'm thinking now is this is your chance to really make this your music. I mean, you have studied so long, and we all have different opinions how to make music. And this is your chance to really, really find out, how can I make this music really my music? One of the things when we play classical music that we often played ready composed music. Obviously, there's a composer who composed music and we play it. So we have the score in front of us. You notice everyone is reading the scores. You know, we have it on paper. It's like reading a book. It's like it's all printed there. But actually, not everything is printed there. There's a lot of things that's not printed in the score. Maybe it's printed like melody, harmony, and all that, but exactly how to feel the music and how to sort of perceive it and how to be able to move it to the audience and get a nice feeling about it, that's up to the player, actually. I mean, you can't, normally you don't recompose the music, obviously, when you play it. You can change some things. I remember we did earlier today with the one piece, small change. But what you can do, you can change, you have a very big freedom with the characters, with the sound, and how you want to sort of have. And now we're also in this beautiful hall, a big hall. And I mean, this piece is written for a big hall, obviously. So here you have the chance to really fill the hall with the... So if I ask you to play from beginning again, I will also ask you to really go a little bit outside of yourself, listen into the room a little bit. I mean, we were in a small room yesterday, now it's a really big hall here. If you play from beginning, really enjoy, of course, you're basically doing your stuff, but also have a chance to sometimes listen a little bit out in the hall and see how you have a beautiful sound, beautiful viola, a beautiful technique, and how that sound really hits in the hall and how it's sounding out there. It would always be nice to be able to take your ear and actually put it out there. I don't know any technique for that yet. Maybe with electronic you can do sort of, we can put a headphone or so, but then it would be really nice to have the actual ear out there. You can't do that, but you can sort of open it up for at least. Because there are some things that maybe you can discover by actually listening in the room. If I start by saying that, and we go from beginning again. Thank you. Sorry if I disturb you. I will just see. How does it feel to be a little bit more connected to the hall when playing?
Yeah, much better.
It feels better, doesn't it? Because if you're too much into producing here, you get a little bit busy. If you actually just listen to the result, I mean, you know this piece so well, and you play it so good. So if you actually just listen to the results, you get much more freedom, actually. Because that's what we, there are so many, if you go from the composer, he composed a piece, and he put it on a paper, and then you're reading from this paper, and then you try to understand what it's all about, and our brain's working, our heart is trying to understand what is the meaning and feeling, and what's the intention with this music. And then, of course, you have to play it, and then there's going through the arms, and the hands, and into the string, and then the bow, and then this wooden thing has to produce the sound, and the sound has to go through the air, and they have to touch all listeners, you know, go into the ears. And then after that, it has to go into you, and you have to perceive it inside you. So there's quite a long way the music has to travel before it actually hits the hearts of the listeners, you see. And a very important step in all those steps, important part of getting all those steps together to actually touch the listener is actually to listen. Because if you listen, you get a direct contact to how to make the music, both technically, but also in your mind, your perception of the music. So that's actually one of the things that we often forget. I notice myself, I forget it, and all my students, they very often forget to just listen. There's so many things you think you should think about this, but especially in a beautiful hall like this, you can listen. And in the beginning, for instance, what is it you want to, in first bars, you have this low, beautiful part. What do you want to show there?
I feel like it's just something very generous and warm and opening and inviting someone to see a beautiful landscape or something inviting.
Something inviting. It's like when you go first on stage and you want to greet an audience, or anyone actually, you just want to be warm and welcoming and just show a nice, beautiful sound. And you actually did that. You don't need to do anything more. Just show this is beautiful, and you just project the sound, listening to the sound in the hall. Make sure that it rings, and it's and then at some point you want to start to change the characters. Here start to move a little bit, and especially here, the gracieux. It becomes more funny. I saw that you wanted to do something more funny. Funny is maybe a bad word, but you want to do something extra, a little bit changing the character. And find out ways that it touches the whole, both with listening and actually we're actually looking at each other even. We're lucky to have a hall where we can see each other, and you can actually do, there's maybe a different way of moving and so on. You explore what you like for this part. And then coming up to these faster parts, and also in the most complicated fast part, remember to listen. To always, virtuosity is not about playing the fastest. It's about making sure that every little thing is actually heard in the whole. If I say it like that, and you can guess what you can do. So let's try again from the beginning. fine if I disturb you, Ian. Sorry, we will get to play through later. Nice. And you're starting to find really nice characters. I mean, for each part to really go into the characters, because this is what's actually interesting, you know, finding the characters. Should it be small? Should it be big? Which kind of characters? And then you choose the sound and after that. And you also notice in the whole, either you have to always have a quite good sound, or you have to have a very good articulation. Normally you have to do one of those to really project in the whole. So that's very good. I like that you either do that or produce a big, nice sound. And this is supposed to be for a big hall, this piece anyway. And then there's what's interesting also with the characters is how they connect to each other. I mean, then we're getting into the form. It's like how they really do connect and how the energy goes from one character to the next. And for example, in this, I think it was second page, if I count right here. Where are we? This is first page. Yes, here. This long line, for example, now you don't see what I'm doing, but here, this long line here connecting to this thing after this, I didn't really understand how this part goes over to this part through this long nose. How the energy goes. Is it high energy or is it low energy here, for instance? What do you think? How is possible to, because you should go, you have this part, which, what would you call it? It's like searching or?
It's something very, like a sea, like an agitated sea. It's something very moving forward.
Yeah, and doesn't know where to land, sort of. And you had this energy for quite a while, and then you actually have this long note, and then you're arriving to this beautiful, slower theme. So maybe this is the time where it's actually still agitated before it relaxes. You can think about how you can connect that with energy even better, maybe, if there any way you could find that. Why not second page? Do you have bar numbers, or do you know? No, that was not the place. A few bars earlier. Yeah. Here you were busy with the form. It's like over a long time. It's like it took a minute to build up that energy, wasn't it? It's like 1 minute building up, and then you arrive, and then you come to this beautiful second theme. So sometimes we're very busy with details, but sometimes we have to see the big picture also. For me, it was much clearer now, the energy you're building up. So you have many, many, many steps of building up the energy, and it actually takes time before it goes down. You're actually not releasing it ever until here, actually. You almost now released here, just a little diminuendo here, but soutenu, really, fortissimo soutenu. You keep it, keep it, keep it. And it's when it's the second theme comes, that's the resolution. Because if you lose the energy before, then you have to put new energy to start. That's always sad. So that's one of the things that's very nice. You can search for yourself how to connect all the passages together, really. That was really beautiful. Is it possible to start directly here at the double line where we stopped now? Dee, ya, da, dee, da, dee, da. Yes. Do you find it? You can. You found? Very nice. And here the energy definitely going out. I mean, here in the end. But is the energy already disappearing at the très soutenu here? Or it's here it's disappearing, yes? So maybe here still has to be some energy, even if the pianissimo. So here's the energy. So it has to connect somehow. It's about the same story as here, actually. There's no nice place to start. Mouvement, maybe. Yeah, go for mouvement. Nice, cool. Hold this section. I really liked how you connected that now. That was more musical. It made sense. And hold this section with the fast notes. What do you think that's all about?
It's just a bit similar than...
Yeah, it's quite agitated. And maybe here is actually, you know, mostly music is about melodies or harmony, or maybe it's about the beat. It's like, could be heartbeat. And maybe this time it could actually be about breathing, but very fast. Maybe something like this. It could imitate a human who is, I'm rushing, and you sort of have too fast breath and you don't know what to do. Velouté, flou is printed. So maybe you can imagine someone who's, you know, who's maybe not in great physical condition, or trying running up the stairs and I'm late. Some, you know. And also, if you want to do that, you can maybe be even more extreme with the bow. It's like, it doesn't need to be normal viola playing always. You can be a little bit, if you want some special sound, maybe you can try that. We had the mouvement, then we have the fermata, after the fermata maybe. Pop-bom. If you do a lot of agitation, here this moment is definitely a moment to relax instead. And you actually climbed up and you reached the top of the stairs or whatever it is, yeah? But if you want to have a moment of relax, there's normally a situation where it's not relaxed before, and you keep the energy and then you relax. Musically, this is about musical structure, just. And I liked when you're doing, I don't know, did you like this? It's maybe not typical viola playing. Maybe if you play in conservatory, they say, no, please play good sound. But it's interesting to discover. If it's interesting, maybe change the... If you're doing this sound, maybe those dashes, all these lines, that's a moment to put a little bit normal viola sound, maybe to connect to have a good sound, if you're doing the special version. All right, and now I disturbed you again. Same place, I guess. Would you like to do different this time, maybe? Yeah. What would you like to do? We'll see.
I will experiment more with...
Maybe experiment even more. Maybe too much this time, but we will see. Try. Beautiful. I mean, it was such a fantastic moment when you reached that high note. There was, you get this sort of feeling, and that helps, you know, building up energy and then releasing it. Just in the end, now it was better, but when the first time he played, it was hard to get this harmonic, the flageolet, to really sound well. You know, you have to play very different in the bow when you have a normal note and when you have the harmonics. In a concert situation now, you're maybe relaxed, but let's imagine in a stressful concert situation, maybe with orchestra, big hall, 2,000 people in the audience, I would recommend you to maybe even move even more bow. Perhaps even, because there's something that it needs a lot of speed in the bow, these harmonics. And also the pizzicato, I listened to the whole, I heard it, but I almost didn't hear it. So maybe imagine a little bit even bigger hole than this one. You probably need to more of the pizzicato as well. Is it possible to just play the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 last bars? Up with upbeat maybe. Last time it comes. Last time it comes. Just last 6 bars with upbeat. Oh, first time without the harmonic. I was thinking without harmonic first. And now with harmonic. Do you want it slow or fast? Yeah. What sounds best in the whole, you think?
Yeah, the last one.
Yeah, maybe not too slow. Exactly. I would agree with you. Not too slow. Can we do it once more time? When you get the, imagine that you do one sound with the normal note, and then with the flageolet. You probably understand what I'm saying. You need a little bit different bow to make sure that you're really free in the bow arm to get a good sound on the harmonics. Yes, let's go on. Sorry, I disturb you again. Nice. For example, in the jam, ta, wam, sometimes we have to choose between articulation and sound, as I spoke to you earlier, and maybe a dam, pa, wam, wam. For example, maybe the second last note, the chord, maybe not too short, because da, wa, you hear it, wa, but the da, wam, ta could be nice with a little bit longer to really hear the harmony and the music of that, just in the end. We had this and then building up, and then reaching the fortissimo, and then how to really enjoy this beautiful melody what comes later. Actually, looking into the score, isn't it still fortissimo? There's nothing printed except in the dynamic. So I was thinking maybe you could, because this needs to sort of, you know, you've been working hard, you're climbing up, you really need to enjoy the view when you get there somehow. And this music is, it's a little bit like typical opera music. It's like when you get somewhere, you really had to enjoy the high point. It doesn't really directly drop. It actually keeps there for many, many bars. Even if it comes at diminuendo, maybe music changes, still the energy goes on for many bars. It's something about the human. It takes time to change emotions somehow. So maybe da 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 ya da dee da da ya da, and maybe somewhere here it's starting to change to something else at some point, but it's still very, very high energy. And also about this, I take that later. So would you mind just doing that again, actually? From, for example, that's not impossible. That's impossible. Yes, we make sure to lock that in. Yes. So.
Song 160.
Yeah.
Song. Oh, yeah. Yes, perfect. Let's go there.
Or before.
We have la da da dee da dee. We have the theme also, or the almost theme before. This time it's not the theme; it actually just grows. Here, if you listen to the whole, did you like? Was it the perfect sound for you? No. It was something forced, wasn't it? Listen in the whole and try that again, and we'll see. It's a mezzo forte printed. Maybe Enescu knew that forcing doesn't help this time. It's nice. And in the end, the last very, very bars, when it's like you have been climbing up, and there you actually are on the top and you're watching down, aren't you? Because if you're still watching up, this you don't want to do. You have to be, you have actually climbed up and you actually sort of, you're above everything. It's easy now. You're already there. So whatever happens, just easy, easy. Well, easy to say, harder to play. But, but still have this, you know, we cannot change what's happening when we play, but we can change how we respond to it. This is what we do. And very nice. I like how you also note, and you did that very good now. It's actually sans pressé, without rushing in this part. It's practical to have that in mind if you're having, especially if you're having a bad day. Nice, Giorgio Enescu. Have you played anything else by him, by the way?
Did he wrote something for you?
No, but I mean, he wrote a lot of other things. He wrote chamber music, piano music, orchestra music, fantastic rhapsodies. He's born in Romania, so he wrote a lot of Romanian rhapsodies. There's even some Romanian folk music hiding in this Concertstück. But then he studied in Vienna I think he started when he was 13 or something, when he studied in Vienna, and then he moved to Paris. And he actually lived a lot of his life in Paris. He's buried in the graveyard not far away from Chopin, actually, in Paris. So he counts maybe as a French composer now. Even if yeah, he studied for Fauré, for instance, yeah. Yes, and it's very nice. This is almost like a rhapsody. A rhapsody is like when you mix many things together. And this last page actually has all these parts of the rhapsody. It's like you have been doing the nervous part and the breathing part and the relaxing melodies, and then of course building up to the very, very end. So this is a nice rhapsody. Really, really beautiful. It's really great to work with you, Barbara. It sounds amazing here, and I hope to hear this on a concert at somewhere very, very soon. Maybe with orchestra, we will see. So thank you very much, Barbara, for this. Yeah.